What's up guys, Cerv'gestions here, and I'm here to bring you some information that I've been asked to provide by some subscribers and by some friends. I said in an earlier video, when I record and when I do my uploads, but I'm more than happy to actually repeat it, especially for the new subscribers that I have, so that way you know when my content is up. I record all of my videos on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And I edit and upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're always up by noon. Well, at least I try my best to get them up by noon. Sometimes I fall a little bit behind, but it's a one-man show. I'm doing everything myself. So please forgive me if it goes up past noon, but I promise you I'm doing the best I can to try and get out the best videos and the best quality I possibly can. The next suggestion that I got was from Kitten from OV Gaming. She suggested that I do a draw my life, which I have not done, but I plan on doing it. I just did not know how to go about doing it because I did not have a camera. So now that I actually do have a camera, I actually have a means of actually doing it, but I have to find a way to do that and mount it so that way I can show you everything that I need to show you. But I also got many suggestions for like other games and other readings as well. From a few friends, my friend Lance, he actually gave me a suggestion for Team Fortress 2. I never played it before, but it sounds very interesting and be fun to play. More Gang Beasts, that seems to be a constant. Everybody wants to see Gang Beasts, especially after the last one I put up with Cheap. It was so much fun and it was hilarious. But Cheap has been very, very busy as of late, and so have I. So now that he's a little bit more free, we can actually put up a few more videos and we can have a blast with that. And I had a friend of mine who likes to torture me because you guys know that I kind of jump and scream like a little girl at scary games. And she was like, so whenever Outlast 2 comes out, that's what I want you to play. I'm like, yay! I am not looking forward to that, but it's a really detailed game, and I'd be intrigued just by the detail alone. More Would You Rathers, and Would You Press the Button? That was actually something. And also longer scary stories. Now I know you guys actually been asking for longer stories with the scary stories. I can do the progressive ones where I can actually do part 1, part 2, part 3. But I've actually been contacted by a local published author named Greg Dennison. He has written a book called Olympus Rising, and it's a science fiction book. It looks very interesting. I like the premise. It looks really cool, and he's trying to get it out there. He wants to actually have a little bit more exposure, and he asked me if I can read a couple chapters on my channel, which I'm more than happy to promote, especially a local published author, and I would like to actually help out the community as much as possible. Seemed like a hell of a nice guy. So, starting next Friday, as I said before, I will be reading his book, and I will be doing it by chapters. So I'll read the first chapter, and then that will be the first video. And if you guys are interested and you guys are really liking the story, we will just continue on with the reading, and it'll just go by week, and you guys just give me your feedback. Let me know. But keeping with tradition of how I always have a scary story for you guys on Fridays, I would like to actually give you this nice little warning right now. I'm going to be reading 2 small scary stories, and I hope you guys enjoy them. But as always, if you're not interested in listening to a scary story, go to my next video or my previous video, depending on when I got this up. But if you guys are interested in a couple little stories that'll give you a nice little chill down your spine, let's get to it. Portraits. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around the inside of the cabin, he was surprised to see the walls adorned with several portraits. All paintings in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred and malice. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable. Making a concentrated effort to ignore the many hateful faces, he turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, the hunter awoke. He turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. The message. Don't dismiss this outright as the work of some raving lunatic. There's some sense to this story, if you'll just hear me out. Look, we all wonder if time travel is possible, right? Well, let me tell you something. It is. I'm from the future, actually. I know you probably don't believe that, but seriously, I'm from the future. It's a really great thing, getting to see the past, watching events unfold, stuff like that. We know more now than we ever would. Behind all the fun, though, there's a more serious aspect. We aren't supposed to go into our own lifetime, and we are never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself, your future self. I'm going to be executed for this, but you know what? I accept that. I'm preventing something by talking to you that is worse than death. I can't tell you outright what to do because the filters would catch it. This is the closest I can get. Trust me. I can, however, send a little message. You should probably read the first word of every paragraph now. I'm worried about my son. I'm very worried about my son. More than worried at this point, terrified. His behavior these past few weeks is not normal, not healthy. It makes me think there's something wrong. At first, he would just come and stand at the doorway. He did this at night just before I'd be ready to fall asleep. I'd roll over to turn off the lamp and he'd be standing there in the doorway. I used to try to speak to him. I don't do that anymore. He never has answered me. He just stares. A couple of days ago, he graduated from standing in the doorway to coming in and sitting on the bed. He still doesn't speak. I've asked him what he wants. I've asked him if anything is bothering him. It's not like him to be so quiet. He usually waits until my wife is asleep. That's the part that gets me. She always falls asleep before me. And he has never come in when she's awake. But then she didn't have a hand in this. If something doesn't change soon, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm starting to feel like he knows that I'm the one who killed him. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.